Hello, welcome to Member365's webinar on continuing education. I'm Katya Els, Member365's knowledge base expert, and I'll be your host for today's webinar. Christine Bundy is also joining us today. She's going to be monitoring the chat box where you can ask any questions. During today's webinar, I'm going to share what continuing education is. Then we are going to create an activity as an administrator. After creating the activity, we will take a look at the member side of things and complete the activity. The next step is looking over the education reports. Once we have completed that, we will have time for any questions. If you do have any questions during the webinar, like I mentioned, just enter them in the chat box. Before jumping into the software, I want to explain what continuing education, or CE, is. CE is for organizations that need to track their members' credits. It's designed to track and manage activities, track members' credits, and their progress each step of the way. Member365 provides you with the reporting tools to view the accumulated credits and what credits are still needed for each level. With Member365's continuing education module, you have the ability to set up credit needs for each membership category and set up different levels with maximum credit accumulation for each. For example, if a bronze member needs 40 credits and 20 of those credits must come from a level 3 activity, where maybe silver members need 60 credits with 10 credits specified to level 2. Setting up those details is done when configuring Member365 with your dedicated onboarding coach. Now that we have a better understanding about what continuing education is and what it's used for, let's start the creation of an activity for your members. So when you're going to create an activity, you must be logged in as an administrator to your Member365 domain. Click Modules, and today we're going to focus on the education section, specifically manage activities. Here you're going to see all of your activities that you've already created with the option to add another activity. So if you've been to my webinars before, I typically already have a Word document outlining the majority of my details. I'm just going to pull it into my screen. I'm going to keep this on my other screen, so just to build this activity a little more efficiently, so I can just easily copy and paste. You don't have to watch me type the whole time. When creating an activity, the first thing you want to do is create a title. The title should be something that your members will know and understand. So as soon as they see this, they know what the activity will hold. So this is an annual conference. Therefore, they're going to know it's a conference and obviously the date. Just be very specific, as well as the description. In the description, it's not a bad idea to say how many credits they will be accumulating and for what level, when the conference is, where it is, which are more details that we will get to as well. If you have a contact that has requested this activity, you can put that in here. So maybe they've asked you to create a certain activity. You can enter their name in here, and then later you can either mark it approved or not approved, but you'll still have that so you can reference it later if it's an activity that you may do. You can select a category. This is to simply organize your activities. Select a level that this activity will be under. So I'm going to say this is the level 1 activity. And I also mentioned in my description that whoever completes this activity will have 4 credits. In my Word document, I state that it is only available to bronze members. If this activity is being taken part at a school or is a school activity, you can actually include all those details here as well. So the program name, the school name, if the website is on, if the activity is on a specific website, who to contact for the activity. I'll just throw in my own information there. The activity location. The date for this activity. So in my title, I said that it was going to be December 16th, and the end date. So if this is an ongoing activity, maybe it's a weekly school activity, then you can put in the correlating dates, number of days, and number of hours. Any notes that you need to include for the activity. If you want to toggle on pre-accreditation, if you want it displaying on your website, or to show on transcript. And this is what I was talking about for approving an activity. So you can either approve it or deny it, or leave as pending, depending on who makes those decisions, what administrator does. So if, like I mentioned, a contact contacts you with a specific activity, you can fill out all the details and submit it, and then later it can either be approved or denied. I'm going to mark mine as approved. I'm going to submit my activity. And now it has been submitted. And here it is. So if you need to go in and edit any of your activities, you can do that right here. And even export them to Excel if needed. So that is how we create an activity. And the next thing that we're going to do is actually hop over to the member side of things. So I'm just switching tabs. And here I'm logged in as a member to my organization, and to find my educational aspect, I click the Education tab, and I can view education activities as well as tests and quizzes. So I'm going to click Education Activities. And displayed to me is all my education credits. So what I've accumulated, what I still need, and where I still need it. And you'll notice that I'm getting, I have these marked as red because I may be expired in them, and then this is green, so I'm still good to go for that. Here I have all the activities that I've taken part of and the credits I have earned from that, as well as the levels. I can add a new activity. And then here's the conference that we just created, the annual conference on December 16th. Gives me 4 credits, and I'll click Select. Now I have to mark the date that I completed this activity. It's going to bring me back to my transcript, and now that has already updated. So that's what it looks like on the member side of things. So now let's take a look at educational reports as a whole. I'm just going to switch back to the admin dashboard. To find your educational reports, it's very similar to choosing or manage activities. So what I'm going to do is click Modules, Education, and here's the first education report. You're also able to see if anything is pending approval or requiring pre-accreditation. So I'm just going to go into Credit Report. And here you can select the status of the credit report you would like to pull. So whether people are in progress for it, have completed it, in the grace period, or they have not completed their required credits in the amount of time specified. So I'll go into in progress, and here it shows everybody that is in progress of obtaining their credits. And you can obviously point out who is closest and furthest, and something nice with this is that you can send an e-blast to all these individuals. So sending them, hey, I noticed that you have been working on your educational activities, make sure it's finished by this, or whatever the case may be. So that is all for the continuing education webinar today. Thanks for joining us today for Member365's continuing education webinar. If you have any questions, please consult our knowledge base at support.member365.com, or if you need to contact support directly, please do so at support@member365.com. Thanks so much and have a great day.